more with the
I
reasoning
think
we see here?
very much in what Frosk was saying. I think it's very dependent on certain compositions. I think that Sejuani pick is also very important, but depending on what other comps people come up with, I wouldn't be surprised to see it depending on the situation.
Yeah, definitely a cool champion to see in the mid lane. And if you do want to see Camille taking over the mid lane through the eyes of the players, you can also get ProView right now over at riot.com/ProView. Now, we talked about a lot of champions, but one champion we have not seen yet is Yuumi. So Medic, he went out looking for the magical cat.
Where on earth is that cat? Yuumi! Yuumi, where are you? Where on earth has she gone?
I'm looking for a fishy fish for my dishy dish.
What are you doing down here? We have to get into bot lane.
Well, this is embarrassing.
Yes, it is embarrassing. I'm going to be laning right now.
Listen, if you don't go away, I will throw a book at you.
That's uncalled for.
No! No!
Come on, out you come.
I fits, I sit!
Come on, get on my back. Get on my back. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Come on, Yuumi.
To the fish!
To the fish.
To the fish!
Let's go.
To the fish!
Yeah. Frosk laughed so hard she needed to get her headset readjusted.
Fishy fish from my dishy dish.
What? How? That wasn't you, obviously.
No, I mean those are just quotes
Is that
from Yuumi.
Cadius?
That was Yuumi. What are you talking about?
Sorry.
All I heard were Yuumi quotes in there, and I heard a great breakdown of Yuumi, and clearly Yuumi is not as excited to get onto the Rift as everyone else is right now.
Exactly. Well, we'll see if we see more Yuumi today. Let's take a look at the schedule today. Today. That's when we're playing. So XL versus Rogue is up first and also next. Yeah, looking for their first win, and I'm actually quite excited for that matchup. All jokes aside, because I don't think we've seen everything we expected out of the new configured rosters, as happens often on a day one.
I mean, I know we're opening with XL, but we also got some other bangers later on, like the fact that it's Splyce versus Vitality, Origen versus G2. It feels like we got a really stacked schedule for our opening week, and today in particular.
I agree.
Where's the biggest upset going to come from, Vedius?
Ooh, I'm trying to
Don't say Schalke.
I'm trying to recall my predictions for today. It depends on your
predictions.
I like to fall behind for a more dramatic comeback. That's what I like to do.
Let's pull up the predictions, and then we can see exactly what you voted for.
So let's have a look. Where am I at? That one.
Ooh, everyone jumped the Rogue train, except for the fans. That's because of the Reddit guy.
It was in bold.
Is that? Oh, StatsBot went for Misfits. I see. So they're taking a creative choice at the beginning of the split.
I thought that was a hard one to predict, I have to say.
I thought you had gone Vitality.
What? No, I'm off that train.
Oh, you're abandoning that train?
Unfortunately, Yamato needs to promise me a lot of things before I get back onto the Vitality train.
What's that Origen prediction at the end of the day?
Okay, so here's the thing. G2 is the easy prediction. I went 5-0 yesterday. I'm looking at the 10-0 today, and if I find the upset, that's how I make my stake.
That's very early in the season. You're deciding to
be a high roller.
The actual analysis is I think that Origen have a really updated read on the meta right now. I thought their composition, especially with that Camille mid, was super cool. I think G2 still playing a bit of the old school MSI, and so I'm hoping that Origen can take their sucker punch right now, find a cool comp, maybe catch G2 off guard. That said, G2 still real terrifying.
Yes, they are. Also, I do want to give a shout out to all you guys and girls at home, the fans who voted. You've been voting massively, a lot more than in summer and in last spring, in spring and in last summer. Rather, so continue to do that. Hit up your predictions at LOL Esports before each day of games. Now, to close out the day today, we'll have the rematch of the spring finals. Origen will get another shot at the LEC champions.
What we're gonna do is gonna shock the world.
And Fake has been able to join the fray. The minion wave is getting obliterated. Oh, massive! Faker turns around.
When we're down in a series like against SKC, we're 1-2 down, and you hear the crowd still cheer for us, it actually makes a difference, you know. When you hear the crowd, then you just have to fight till the end.
The Caps are Wanderer on the Nexus. They will not go quietly. Wonder versus Game 5. That's a dunk from Wonder. Death from below for the double, for the ace, for the Baron, and the base.
Right here, if you can find the QE. Nice juke by Cap. They find that first stun. They find some daily, but Ignite means he will get the solo kill in the 1v2.
Honestly, this is like the OG, sir.
Exactly. G2 slaughtering Team Liquid.
When we lost to G2, I mostly felt anger. We stayed as a team to watch G2 lift the cup, and you know, it gives you a lot of fuel and a lot of motivation.
A little bit of me was like happy for them, but I think a bigger part of myself was just like, damn, that could have been me.
Now with G2 winning MSI, it's been a big shock for me because I kind of gave up on winning internationally. Korea had been always winning and always being the best region. Seeing G2 win the final and in the manner that they did just made me realize I haven't figured out half of what I could be figuring out. It just gave me that extra motivation, that extra push to get better.
We definitely have not shown our full potential yet. We want to be the team that doesn't just 3-0 Liquid, it wants to be the team that 3-0s IG.
When it comes to summer split, I don't know how strong we will start out. We, of course, played MSI on a completely different patch. For sure, OG was not like a weak team last split, so if there's any team to contest us, it's most likely going to be OG, right? But still, I think 18-0 split should be possible.
Wow. I wonder, going for that 2015 Fnatic 18-0, we haven't seen it.
One of the big advantages that G2 always has is that their mid and top are very, very powerful. But I think one Origin was that they were punishing the mistakes that Vitality often made. And I think both playstyles can work. Both were fast in how they won their games. And I think both teams are very good. But when it comes to...
I mean, you have to give respect to the second best team. They went to the final. Yeah, it didn't look great, but Origen did manage to take down G2 in the regular split.
Yeah.
I actually found Mithy's quote probably the most impactful, because can you imagine playing for that long? And then it kind of felt like the Western world was almost brainwashed into this idea where you guys will never win. You never have a chance. And to finally have that pulled off, you start to see unlocked potential of not just Europe, but like every single region. It worked for China when they took down MSI and Worlds, and now I'm ready for Europe to do the same thing.
Me too. Also very ready for Nuke Dog versus Caps round. I don't know how much, but yeah, we'll see. That is at the end of the day. Yesterday we had 5 games, and as always, Twitter gets all up in arms and sends out their hot takes. But our first hot take comes from G2 themselves, as they showed up in style yesterday. Versace gowns. They're really expensive, okay? I looked it up yesterday.
They're stylish too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The jury's out.
You just put a little like just logo on the bottom of that. Wonder looks like he's straight out of a magazine. He's like,
yeah, I have to say, a bit of blue steel going on. Love it, G2. I wonder what they're, maybe some Gucci. We'll see. Another hot take came from @ArthurFleck0801. Why did I read that? Vitality has so much potential, but it has been going downhill without any sight of improvements. The big question should be asked of the Mowgli acquisition.
I wasn't aware Mowgli was playing bot lane. Jokes aside, yeah, Mowgli has a very different style. He's kind of the newest iteration, so I think that a lot of people will kind of shift their focus onto Mowgli. Like, well, Kikis was here. It was so much better. But the fact of the matter is I don't feel it. It's the jungler who's underperforming. Yeah, you can look at all individual members of Vitality, and they all kind of have their glaring moments. But I think it's still about Attila and Jacktroll, you know, finding that confidence and finding that synergy that they had at the beginning of spring.
Do you think it's too far, this quote, or what do you think?
I think that Mowgli still has room for improvement. I think communication seems to be the biggest breakpoint right now between him and the rest of his team around where he can be aggressive and how he's working with his team in order to supplement that kind of aggression. But I agree with Frosk. I think that right now the bot lane is a bigger issue for this team, and I'm hoping that they can shake things up coming into today's game.
All right, next hot take comes from @CFX. CFXG Zo. Oh my gosh, I need my glasses. Misfits, they haven't shown anything convincing yet. They literally did the exact same thing they did at the start of spring. A lot to prove still.
How dare my team win?
Why do they
How
win?
dare they do it in a convincing fashion? I'm furious. Girl looked great on Nautilus.
It is the same way that they were winning last
Who
week.
cares?
Yeah, why is that an issue?
Good enough to get them to playoffs. We've already seen this.
Yes, but the thing here is,
Wait.
most of spring, they couldn't even win in any way, not even through the way that they liked winning before.
Sure.
So should we then not just applaud them for having a win in the first place in the first game?
I mean, the thing is, they got wins at the beginning of last split, right? I need to see a greater depth of style from this team rather than get Hansama a winning matchup and win through Hansama. I need to see the return of 2015 Febiven. I need to see the GOAT Soaz return to peak performance if I'm to be convinced that this Misfits is a real challenge
that
for
does
top
sound
spots.
good. That does sound good.
Yeah, I'm all aboard that.
We're all aboard. Let's see how Misfits do today versus Fnatic. That will be very, very interesting. And next up, Cloud9 tweeted, the teams who won have a 100% win rate in summer.
That is the type of logic that I expect from an LCS team.
Yes, definitely. They have a clear read on the league.
Yeah, it seems like Cloud9, one step ahead of the rest of us.
As always, they are, except for when they play found the changes in Excel quite controversial. So what did you take away from their first game yesterday?
So I think, to me, it kind of went almost as expected. The biggest surprise, like the top laner for Excel, was having a monstrous game. And if he continues to have these performances, I have a lot more faith in this Excel role.
And it was so important that Expect had to show up because he needed to buy time for his team to allow Hjarnan, kind of the other big key performer on this roster, to scale up on that Jinx. He bought them enough time, and for about, I'm going to say, 75% of the game, it actually looked like it was
played very well. I felt like his laning was very solid and reliable, pretty much what I think we expected. But then he was also the player that got caught out by the Cocoon. He was the player that died and ultimately cost his team the game, right? And how much weight you want to put on that is up to the individual. But I'm not too concerned as of yet. I think the laning phase aspect is the biggest part. And we still haven't even seen, arguably, the biggest change in that they still have Mickey in the scenes waiting to come into the mid lane behind Special. So I think that there's still a lot of room for this team. And I think that there is a surprising amount of development that can come from this roster.
Okay, let's see how they do. But for more on their opponent's Rogue, let's hear from Laure and their new mid laner.
Thank you very much, Shox. Laure here, and I was joined by Larson before his game today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm so glad to see you back here. I think the last time I saw you was at EU Masters last year. And yesterday, you had to play your first game against a team composed of experienced players when you guys are a rookie team, if I may say. So how was it?
I mean, I don't really think about the enemy team. Yeah, like if they're experienced, doesn't matter because, I mean, it's just focus on our own gameplay, right? And yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And despite the results, we saw some promising moves from you. So can you tell me more about the synergy between you and Inspired?
I mean, me and my Angler Inspired, I think we think of the game very similarly. And we're both very young, so I think we understand each other very well. So, yeah.
That's awesome to hear. And as I said, you were here last year with H2K. So what do you think about the league since the last time you were here in August?
I mean, I think the league has been gotten a lot better. Before I mean, last year there were a lot of weak teams. I feel like now there's barely any weak teams. So, I mean, I think the league has gone stronger for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and what about Rogue in this setup with all of these strong teams? How do you feel?
I mean, I feel good so far. I feel confident in our gameplay. I don't feel like any team is unbeatable besides maybe G2, who is quite good, obviously.
So confident about playing against XL today?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, in my head, we are clear favorites. I think we are a way better team. So I hope we can show it today.
Perfect.
Not like yesterday. I think we didn't show really how good we are yesterday, but it can happen, right? So I just want to bounce back today and get the first win.
Well, I wish you very good luck on that. Thank you very much, Larson, for joining me. Now back to you, Shox.
I like it. He's confident, he's cool, calm, and collected. He thinks they can beat everyone, and he definitely thinks they're much better.
Properly communicate with their bot lane and play around them to prevent them from getting shut down as hard as they did against Misfits. But clearly Rogue believes that those communication issues were a one-off thing, could be first time on stage, could have been nerves, and that they're looking to showcase something better today.
You were very hyped about Larson, so how do you think he did yesterday?
I think he had a great start to the split, but I also think that I was surprised by how well he worked with his jungler. I was expecting this young rookie to be much more about playing by himself, being much more of a controlled player, not really looking for those kills, but it felt like that Inspired was about trying to get him ahead.
Sure, but I don't see them as kind of the true big carries. It feels like it's still, at least for me, on Vander as like the primary playmaker to really make those superhero plays, and then Larson and Spire just know exactly what they need to do and rip teams apart in team fights. So I need to see Rogue's bot lane have a better performance, get Vander a position where he feels confident to make the engage tools, and then just have Larson and Spire do cleanup duty.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think it's such an interesting bot lane matchup, right? Because you have a lot of players there that have been around the block, right? Who have had a chance to prove themselves in the past, have had certain high highs, but not always exactly where they wanted to be, and they both had a really bad day one. I was talking to Woolite in the makeup room, and he said it just sucked. We got completely shut down, and there I came back, I couldn't even farm. There was nothing I could do. So how much stock are we putting into that performance yesterday?
I mean, the unfortunate reality is that Woolite and Hjarnan come back to the LEC, and all of the LEC bot lanes got huge upgrades over spring. Like, what used to just be the reckless, hilly, like, absolute domination now has so many good ADCs, incredible support talent, and so it's kind of like, welcome back. The competition got much stiffer, so come ready to battle.
All right, let's see how it plays out. It is time for another day packed with action in the LEC Summer Split. Let's hit the Rift.
Thank you very much, Shucks. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Quickshot, joined by Anda once again today as we are diving into XL versus Rogue. Day 2 of the Summer Split. We're just about ready for picks and bans, so what can we expect?
Well, we can expect in the top lane. Sorry, that was really bad. But we have two of our teams here that went through a lot of changes during the offseason, and yesterday I think things did not go according to plan for them. And today is their day to start, you know, their journey towards a better split in the summer, as two of our lovely cameramen had a cameo.
Just saying hi. Small cameos. Much like Yumi's cameo, we're seeing Yumi in
We're
ban,
not seeing any
time.
Yumi. She's just gone.
A lot of bans worldwide, though. I think I've only seen one game where Yumi was played over in the LPL. Continues to be permaban. Is that your prediction?
Yeah. I think we've actually seen a lot of blue side teams banning the Yumi too. So she is one of those newer champions. I think some teams either don't feel comfortable playing her or just want to get her completely out of the picture, which we're going to see a lot more today.
Well, let's see what the priority here is for XL and Rogue. Both teams taking to the stage, looking to pick up and win today. And as Hjarnan, you actually said to me, will we see Heimer ban every game? So far, yes.
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. Of course, Hjarnan known for that pick so much, but bans looking very similar to yesterday. The flexible options of Aurelia and Aatrox seem to be mandatory bans here for these teams, and I'm still eyeing that Yumi, expecting that to be the final ban here from Rogue. Otherwise, Excel should just snap block that in.
Well, let's find out. Sona's going to be the target instead. We saw Origen yesterday using the Sona Tom Kinch lane to lethal effectiveness. And for the last ban opportunity here on Rogue, if it's not Yumi, what other options would you consider?
Well, we also have the Sylas and the Ryze, I think. Sivir, too, was 100% presence in